What's up? It's Joe with OCDetailing, and today is a sexy day at my shop. We have a Model S here, we have a Model 3 here, we have a Model X here, and we have a Model Y here, along with two other really sexy cars. They're not Teslas, but I mean, they have sex appeal. But let's get to the Model Y while we're here. I actually did a really good job of not looking at this car today so I could give you my genuine first impressions of it. The way I did that was I delivered a baby this morning, so I was at the hospital all day. And then when I heard this was getting dropped off, I ran over here just to come take a look at this car. So now I'm going to give you my thoughts on it and let you know what I think about it. This car came with the chrome already deleted, which is about time because you know, a lot of time aftermarket accessories, they tend to catch up to production, and I think Elon caught on to the fact that people really like these things with the chrome blacked out on them, because we do it here all the time, and it looks so much better. The thing I don't like about this that caught my eye right away is I was always a big fan of the little side markers on this, and I remember watching the videos of this Model Y thinking that this was just somebody's bad vinyl wrap, because like when we do a chrome delete here, we cut out the T like this, so you can still see that because it lights up there, and I actually really like that. But they literally just made a black plastic cover, which oddly enough is the exact same thing that happens if you just pull the chrome cover off a stock one of these. So I'm guessing that's what they did. They're just like, here, we're just gonna pull the chrome cover off and that's gonna black that out, and they didn't put the T back in. Really like these wheels. They look really sleek, they look really cool, it's perfect, it's on a performance model. The other thing that I was super happy with, if you look at the gap, the wheel gap on a Model S or a Model X, and most of the time those cars have air ride, even on the normal setting, the wheel gaps on Teslas are really good. But if you look at a performance Model 3, it's a little bit too much. Like it's just like the gap's a little too high there. But on the Y, they fixed that. Like I feel like this gap is proportionate. It looks really cool. And then while we're down here, you have this trim here, right? This is the same kind of trim that comes on a Model X. This stuff is, actually it's just a space filler, which is actually really cool though, because this is gonna leave a lot of room for some flared out body kits and aftermarket stuff. And I know people love to play with their Model 3s and Model Ys and any of their Teslas actually. So this should be some fun additives in the future, because you'll be able to pop this off and be able to click something else there. I'm sure one of the companies will come with it really soon. Now let's talk about the car itself. It looks great. It really does. I mean, it looks like somebody took a Model 3, stuck a balloon in the back of it and went, poof, and then you have a Model Y. Kinda. It also looks kind of like a Model X. I'm a little confused as to which one it looks more like, because up here, this all says Model 3 to me, and then back here, kind of like in this area, it looks just like a Model X, and then you get to the back end of it, and it gets the ballooned up Model 3 effect. It has the carbon fiber spoiler, just like it does on the 3, just like it comes on the Performance 3. Something new on this one that they don't have on the 3 is like, they have a power liftgate on this car. So the liftgate is automatic. That's pretty cool. We'll get to the inside of it in just a second, because the room, just at glance, I think maybe 4 or 5 dead bodies could go back there if you stack them on top of each other. Maybe some golf clubs, maybe some strollers, but there's a lot of room in this car, is the point being. Fit and finish on this car, I was really impressed at first glance, and I've been looking at it more since we've been walking around, and the gaps on this car are not bad at all. It's pretty cool, because I've seen some recent cars, and not to knock Tesla, or you know, but you still see some atrocious build quality issues. Like they just, you don't feel like should happen to a car at this price point. You know, like there are some glaring paint issues, like, but we can fix those. That's why it's here, which are like swirl marks, sandy marks. That happens on every car. This car right here, I think, is like $380,000, or the one next to it's like $250,000, and both of those cars came with the same kind of glaring paint issues, but they didn't have gaps. So you know, you've got some little bit of gapping here, a little bit of gapping here that's uneven from side to side, but overall this is a big improvement, especially for one of the first Model Ys to roll off the line. I just sat down on these seats, and I think, actually I'm sure of it, it is noticeably softer than the seat in a Model 3. Like, it is more cushy. The room in here is awesome. I'll be curious to see what it's like in the back. You know, I always wondered why they put this here. It's like the only wood in the car. It feels really out of place to me, and it does in every Model 3 I see this in, and again, it feels out of place to me right here. Not that it looks bad, not that it, you know, that's preference, but it just feels out of place because it's the only thing wood in here. Like everything else is so simple and a piece of wood. So if you happen to drive this into a lake by accident, you can float away on this. Driftwood for the win. I'm just kidding. The center console, very much like a Model 3. That gloss black console that goes all the way up. This is already really scratched up. So that's another very common thing on a Model 3 too. Let's hop in the back. Let's see what kind of room we got back there. I didn't adjust the seat. I just left it at the wherever it's at, which left me with plenty of leg room. And super roomy. This is a very, very roomy car. Now, unlike a Model 3 that has a big bar right here where it separates a sunroof and then the big, huge panel back window, this car just has a giant panel roof, much like a Model S does, which I love. This is so cool. I was curious actually to see if this was the exact same piece of glass as is in that Model S over there, but measuring them, they're not the same, but they are pretty similar in size. So you get this awesome panel roof here that you can see out of, you can sit in. If this thing ever becomes a robo-taxi, it's covered in glass. It's really nice views in it, and just like you would get out of a Model 3. The room back here, it's really good. Actually, you get more up and down feet room here because the seats are sitting higher. Again, I don't know why this leather feels different. You would think it's the same thing, or why these seats feel different. Not on the door panels, just on the seats. This feels a little bit different. Again, I can see that Tesla water tests these cars. You can see it by all the dirt and stuff left in the door jamb, so that tells me the deliveries are similar to what you would get on a Model 3, Model S, or X. Also, you can see a lot of mud in here, which is okay. It's a new car, it comes in dirty, but that gives us a lot of room to improve on it and do our thing with it. And you know, like when we get these cars in here, we go through them front to back, and like on this one, we're gonna do everything to it. In fact, I'm even gonna try to talk the customer into letting us re-chrome it. We're gonna take chrome vinyl, and since this is chrome delete, we're gonna try to re-chrome this. I'm just kidding. We're gonna do that for somebody eventually, I'm sure, but not this one. Now let's see how many dead bodies we can fit in the front. I'm just kidding. Shocks are a little aggressive on this, and this is cool. So something I always felt looked really out of place was on a Model X, they have like this really thin rubber band line, which I can show you in a second. But this actually is a lot bigger, so it probably does a really good job of keeping water out of here. The space here is pretty good. I bet you could fit a carry-on or two there. And then you have the tow hook here. Also, if you were to pull all this apart, your 12-volt battery's under here if you ever needed to jump your car because the 12-volt died. Space is, it's really good. And then this is cool too. I actually like this. Again, if in case you don't know, I think with all Teslas this is true. When you're closing them, palms, both sides, push. So in the trunk, we have a charger. Comes with the car. You get these really deep recesses here. There's one on either side. So this is 12, or it's 11 inches. You've got an 11-inch pocket over here and an 11-inch pocket on the other side. I feel like that one's a little bit bigger. I don't think they're symmetrical because this one sticks out a little bit. But also you have this right here. For a lot of our customers, we actually put a ice tank back here, so you can have like a live crab feed to keep the crab cool. I'm just kidding. We don't really do that. But you could make this a cooler. You could hide stuff in here. And this is actually a good place to put stuff so that you know, people don't break your little window when they see stuff in your trunk. And something that's different on this car than there is on a Model 3 is there's actually two of these. There's two little extra spaces. Not a ton of room in that one, but you still could put some stuff back there. And then you have buttons. We've got buttons here. So I'll be honest, I watch videos and I think I have an idea what these buttons do because of Tesla's video, but I had not paid enough attention to know exactly what they do, so we'll learn together. So I push this and the seat folds down, and I'm guessing that folded that seat down too. It was funny how that one seat goes down on its own, but that one didn't. That's okay, it's a new car, it just needs to be broken. Sometimes it needs a little love, but look how much room this is. Okay, so I am 6 foot tall and just hit my head on the back of this. And I pretty easily could sleep back here. Like, if you were camping in this, it would be fine. You would be very comfortable with like one other person, no issues whatsoever. So if anybody wants to buy these and use them as an Airbnb, I'm sure it would work great. Let me try not to hit my head getting back out. They made this one a little more aggressive. I wonder if this is because there's like a tow hitch here? Is that where a tow hitch would go?
Future, they're gonna do it.
Oh,
They
so
didn't do it yet.
I'm guessing this space right here is where they're gonna put a tow hitch in the future. It's set in just a little bit, but it's even. Like, I think I've maybe seen a handful of Model 3s where that's even. So it's really cool to see on a first gen Model 3 or Model Y, because usually the first run of cars, they you can see some little struggling, but you can tell just looking at this, Tesla progressed massively with their production with the Model 3. They got a lot better at it, and to remedy issues before the car comes out. So this looks great. It's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to working on it. Thanks for watching. I'm Joe with OCDetailing. Please subscribe for more videos.